Welcome to Tinnitus, the Hidden Soundscape. I'm Claire Bennett, and I'm joined by my co-host, James Thornton. Today we're diving into what it's really like to live with tinnitus, this invisible, often misunderstood condition that, well, shapes the way so many people experience the world.
Thanks, Claire. And, tinnitus is one of those things that, unless you've experienced it, it's hard to wrap your head around. It's not just a single sound, is it? For some, it's a faint hum. For others, it's a piercing ring, or even a sort of buzzing that never quite goes away.
Exactly. And medically, we define tinnitus as the perception of sound when there's no external source. It can be constant or come and go, and the quality of the sound, well, it really varies. I've had patients describe it as a whistling, a whooshing, or even like cicadas in the background. It's not always easy to put into words.
And the causes are just as varied, right? I mean, hearing loss is a big one, but there's also exposure to loud noise. Think concerts, construction sites, that sort of thing. Infections, certain medications, even just getting older can play a role. It's a bit of a mixed bag, honestly.
Yeah, and sometimes it sneaks up on you. I remember a patient, let's call her Sarah, who came in after a rock concert. She thought the ringing would fade, but it lingered for days. She said it was like someone had left a kettle on in her head. That was the moment she realized, oh, this isn't just temporary. It's, a real thing she'd have to learn to live with.
That's such a common story. And I always say, if you notice a ringing or buzzing after loud noise, it's your body's way of saying, hey, something's not quite right. But it's not just about the sound, is it? Tinnitus can really take a toll on your concentration, your sleep, your mood. I've had clients tell me they can't focus at work, or they wake up in the middle of the night because the ringing is just, well, relentless.
Absolutely. And the emotional impact is, I think, often underestimated. People can feel isolated, frustrated, even a bit hopeless at times. Stress, in particular, tends to make the symptoms worse. It's a bit of a vicious cycle. Stress makes the tinnitus louder, and then the tinnitus makes you more stressed.
Yeah, I had a client, let's call him Mark, who developed pretty severe anxiety after his tinnitus started. He'd always been a calm, collected sort of bloke, but suddenly he was on edge all the time, worrying the sound would never stop. We worked together on managing that anxiety, but it was a real journey for him. And honestly, it's not a straight line. There are good days and bad days.
And I think it's important to say, if you're listening and you're struggling, you're not alone. There are ways to manage the emotional side, but it's okay to admit it's hard. I mean, I sometimes second-guess whether I'm explaining this well enough, but the truth is, it's a deeply personal experience for everyone.
That's right. And sometimes just talking about it, sharing your story, can be a relief in itself. It takes some of the power away from the noise, if that makes sense.
So, let's talk about what actually helps. There's no magic cure, but there are strategies that can make a real difference. Sound therapy is a big one, using gentle background noise, like white noise or nature sounds, to mask the tinnitus. Hearing aids can help, especially if there's hearing loss involved. And then there are relaxation techniques, deep breathing, mindfulness, that sort of thing.
Yeah, and cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, is something I use a lot in my practice. It's not about getting rid of the sound, but changing how you react to it. It can help break that cycle of stress and frustration. And lifestyle tweaks, avoiding caffeine and nicotine, for example, can sometimes make a difference. I always say, it's about finding what works for you, not a one-size-fits-all approach.
We actually heard from a listener, Emma, who found relief by working with her audiologist to create a personalized plan. She combined sound therapy with some simple changes to her daily routine, and over time, she said the tinnitus became less intrusive. It's not gone, but it's manageable. And that's, I think, the key, finding ways to live well, even with the soundscape in the background.
Yeah, and if you're listening and feeling overwhelmed, just remember, there's support out there. It's okay to ask for help, and it's okay to try different things until you find what fits. I mean, I'm still figuring out how to tune out the static on my old radios, so, well, we're all a work in progress, aren't we?
We really are. And that's all for today's episode of Tinnitus, the Hidden Soundscape. We'll be back soon with more stories, more expert advice, and hopefully a bit more hope. James, thanks for sharing your wisdom as always.
Thank you, Claire, and thanks to everyone listening. Take care of yourselves and each other.
Goodbye for now.
Bye, everyone.